Welcome back. Well, the season's just finished, but all the action has really heated up when it comes to next Super Netball season. The New South Wales Swifts have secured star shooter Grace Weke for next season. She was granted an exemption by Netball New Zealand for that deal to go through. So the Silver Ferns booker has joined the Swifts despite New Zealand's eligibility rules, which initially left her unavailable for national selection. Well, Netball New Zealand has since granted the 23-year-old special permission to play in Australia. And she was duly then named in the team for the upcoming Constellation Cup against the Diamonds, as well as next year's Commonwealth Games. Plenty happening. So let's get the very latest with Fox Netball commentator and former Diamond star in her own right, Bianca Chatfield. Bianca, welcome back. Always good to have your company. Quite a big deal, isn't it, for everyone involved, but the Super Netball competition as a whole. So can we just look at that bigger picture for the starter? Weke's exemption from Netball New Zealand. And I see that the Firebirds have just landed a Kiwi teammate, Kelly Jackson, as well. So it's seemingly the floodgates are open. Are we going to see a real influx now of Kiwis' top talent in our competition?
I get the feeling we are. We all knew that rule was going to have to be relaxed because their number one weapon that they have was Grace Weke. So the minute she took the risk and came over here, you got the feeling that they were really going to have to adjust it. And yeah, I'm refreshing my feed at the moment on my social media because the signings are coming through thick and fast for next season. And yes, as you just mentioned, Kelly Jackson, another Silver Fern. This time she's down the other end of the court. She's just signed with the Queensland Firebirds. And I'm hearing there's a few more signings from over the ditch to come. So I personally think it's exciting. I still think there's going to be plenty of opportunity for Australian players, but we want Super Netball to be the best competition in the world. So I say bring out all the superstars and let's see how they go.
Yes, but as you're right, musical chairs, and when it's music stops, there's not always a chair for you. So Sophie Fawn's on her way out at the Swifts. Where's she going and what will that do for them after what was a difficult finish to the season?
Well, I think for Sophie Fawns, like she can come on and have such a big impact in that super shot time, but we haven't seen her play many more minutes other than that. And I think she's doing the right thing by going somewhere else. I actually don't know where she's going to end up. There's been rumours she might go over to England and play in the UK League, but I really think she's going to be an asset for a Super Netball team, just probably not the Swifts. I think they're ready to do something different. I think it'd be great for her career to go somewhere different. There's a few teams on the lookout for goal attacks. We know Sasha Glasgow's left now Melbourne Mavericks and going back over to West Coast Fever. They've only got 2 shooters so far, so potentially she's Melbourne bound or maybe back up to Queensland. Who knows? It's just a guessing game at this point.
And there's some coaching dominoes still to fall, particularly for the 2 Melbourne teams. So, Bianca, starting with the Vixens, who do you think is going to be heading up the reigning premiers next season?
Do you know what? That's another interesting question. The Vixens have kept it very quiet who's even in the mix for that job. I know they've got one more week or one more round of interviews that they're doing before they get close to making that decision. So it's still very much hush-hush what's happening at the Vixens. I think it will be a coach that comes through or has been through the Victorian pathway, though, before. But then the Melbourne Mavericks, the fact that Tracy Neville has walked away from that job, that was the biggest shock. I don't think anyone saw that coming. And now the Mavericks have really got a quick amount of time to hurry up and get a coach together, knowing that they've recruited a lot of players, I think, who were thinking that Tracy Neville would be the coach next season. So that was the biggest shock. And I think Mavericks would have to get themselves into gear pretty quickly to secure the right coach for that team next season.
Could Simone McInnes pop up there?
You know what? If I was the Mavericks, I would absolutely be going after her. She would be such an asset to that club. I mean, in talking to Simone, she very much is happy to have some time out. But you know what? Coaches always say these things. We never really can believe it, can we, until they see who signs on that dotted line. So I don't think it'll be Simone McInnes, but if I'm the Mavericks, I'm doing everything I can to go and get her.
Yeah, you talked about some of the recruitment. Jamie Lee Price, Riley Batchelor-Dore, they've joined the Mavs, but Sasha Glasgow, Liv Lewis, Elle Cardwell, they've all got to move on. So how do you think they will fare next season?
Or, look, I think they're doing well in recruiting different players because they needed to try something different. They've very much been a team that have had players who were kind of always on the periphery of the starting seven, and they came together to all be starting seven players in the first 2 seasons for the Mavericks. Jamie Lee Price is a huge signing for them. She brings so much experience and stability in that midcourt. Riley Batcheldor as well, coming from Sunshine Coast Lightning. She's going to add something totally different for them in their shooting end. And now Tara Hinchliffe has moved from the Sunshine Coast Lightning down to Melbourne to join the Mavericks. So that only just happened this morning as well. So they've certainly gone out there and grabbed as many players as they can. So I'm very intrigued to see who fills their final spots.
Oh, you just have to keep refreshing these stories,
Yeah.
don't they? There's players moving everywhere. And if you take a quick look at the T-Birds, what do you make of Lucy Austin's decision to turn down a contract, move to the Giants? And does that open a door potentially for a Super Netball return for, say, Donnell Wallam?
Well, yes, potentially. I think we're going to see, we know Donnell Wallam has not signed over in New Zealand for next year. So I think we're going to see her sign at one club. Is it the Thunderbirds? I'm actually not sure. I'd heard that they were looking overseas and were potentially getting a shooter from the UK league that might be coming out. I think Lucy Austin is a big loss for the Thunderbirds, but she didn't have a great year in that they kind of put her back into the reserves and didn't give her many opportunities. And as a player, you only have so much time you can play at the elite level. So I think it's a smart move from her to move away from Adelaide, go to the Giants where she knows that she can have an impact, and hopefully they'll have plenty of faith in her out there on court to give her some court time, because we don't have a huge amount of shooters in our Australian netball kind of elite pathways. There's slim pickings because of the opportunities from the Super Netball teams. They're all filled with international talent. So Lucy Austin, I feel like we've really got to harness her and give her as much opportunity as we can out there on the court.
Bianca, I think you're busier this off-season than you are during the regular season. There's so much going on. Really appreciate the update, though, all the same. We'll chat soon.
No worries. Keep refreshing.